What's up guys, it's Matt from TDM Style here and welcome back to the channel for another hair product review, and this week we are here to talk about the newly reformulated matte clay from the Sun City Grooming Company. Alright, so the Sun City Grooming Co. is a homebrew brand actually coming out of Mexico, and their matte clay is basically their flagship product. And some of you may have seen, like Mike at Modern Man TV reviewed it over a year ago, and since then they've done some pretty drastic changes to the formula, so this is their current concoction right here. So their current formula advertises a high hold, a matte finish, tons of texture, and malleability that will last all day long. Now as far as price, this comes in at 260 Mexican pesos, and then you're going to pay a 91 peso shipping fee on top of that. So when all things are said and done, that comes to approximately $18.30 US, and that's for a 4-ounce jar. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's crack into the review and get started with packaging. So this clay will arrive in your kind of standard clear plastic pomade jar with a black aluminum lid and stick-on labeling around the sides. And as I mentioned before, it is 4 ounces, so you get a lot of product in there. And I do enjoy the branding on their labels. They're kind of these matte labels that are kind of like a black charcoal color, but they've got this lavender kind of purple, just very subtle kind of city imaging on it. And I don't know, I just like their logo. I like the fonts they chose. I think it just looks nice. All right, up next, everybody's favorite, or at least my favorite category of scent. Oh, I really like that. Now, this comes in, this is their standard scent, but they actually also right now have a couple of limited edition scents. One is a coconut kidron and one is a juniper scent, but their standard kind of classic scent one is, I guess I would call it kind of like a barbershop kind of cologne-y scent, but it's not too cologne-y. It's light, so it's not, you know, overpowering or anything. It's a little bit sweet, it's clean, yeah, it just smells really good. It doesn't smell like every other cologne scent out there, you know? It's a little bit different. Truth be told, it's not my favorite scent in the world, but I do think it is really nice, and if you're not a fan of, you know, these type of barbershop cologne scents, once you've got it into the hair, you don't smell it anymore. All right, next up, let's take a brief look at the ingredients, and this is a homebrew product, so it is a pretty short ingredients list, and this is a water-based clay. So we've got distilled water in the first spot, followed by Cera, Alba, Beeswax, and then we've got some things that you're probably used to seeing in a lot of clays by now. So we have castor seed oil, Kaolin clay,
Kaolin.
We've got some emulsifying wax in there, grape seed oil, PEG40 hydrogenated castor oil, that's in all kinds of hair products. We also have bentonite clay, a little bit of glycerin, fragrance oil, and then just some preservatives down the bottom. So looking at that, there's a few things that we can kind of deduce from that ingredients list. Number one, it's water-based, so it should in theory wash out pretty easily. We've got both, I fucking said it wrong again, Kaolin clay. Mother, every time. I'm gonna remember one of these days, guys.
Kaolin.
So we have kaolin and bentonite clay in there, so we can expect it to be kind of plumping to the hair and give you just a ton of texture, and we've got a couple different kind of waxes for the hold and things. And with things like castor oil and grapeseed oil, those are just nice extra goodies for your hair and scalp. All right, now let's crack this bitch open and take a look at the scoop and the breakdown first. So getting inside the jar, you will recognize this type of product if you've ever used a clay before. It's this kind of tannish, a little bit grayish kind of looking product with some kind of specks in there. You can see bits of the clays. And now scooping this out, it is a pretty thick product, but it is very smooth. So it does come out pretty easily, just a little bit of pressure. And getting that into the hands, you'll notice right away that it does have a thick but creamy texture. So it does break down pretty easily, although once you start breaking it down, you will immediately feel that dryness from the clays as well as some tack from those waxes. So moving that over into application and styling. Now in their directions, they do recommend that you take a small amount of product out, warm it up in the hands of course, and then apply it to dry hair. It does also say though, if you want to, for extra volume and hold, you can apply a tiny amount into damp hair and blow dry it, and then add a little bit more into dry hair. So for the sake of my demo here, I went with my sort of typical styling routine. So we've got clean, dry hair here at the beginning, and we're going in with about a medium fingertip-sized scoop. So as I mentioned, you will feel that dryness and tackiness as you're breaking it down in the hand, so that will kind of give you a preview as to what it's going to be like going into the hair. Now, the first scoop isn't bad. It does apply pretty smoothly, although I will say if you are a person with a wavy, coarse hair type like I am, I definitely recommend that you pre-style with some type of smoothing solution, be it a smoothing lotion or a serum or a hair oil or just something, because this is a dry product and you will feel that grip right away. So you can see here, after just one scoop of product, I would typically leave my hair at this. So this is not a high hold at this point. It's definitely more of a, a medium. It's got some movement to it, but it's very lightweight. The texture looks really good. It's flowy. It's not too sticky or anything. But for the sake of science, we are going to go in with a second scoop to see exactly how strong we can get this hold to be. Now, with the second scoop, you will really feel that grip. But at the same time, you're going to really see that hold start to come out. I mean, just look at this. Height of fashion, boys. But all unfunny hair jokes aside, it is quite a strong hold. So once you get past the grippiness and you can actually work it in, I find it helps if you go through with a wide tooth comb. That'll just kind of help get through any kind of tangled bits or anything like that. And then, wash your hands of any extra product and then go back into finger comb the final style. So with our look at the final style here, you can see that it is a nice matte finish. The only shine that you're seeing there is the natural shine of my hair, which I appreciate. So it's not overly dry looking, but it's not adding any shine either. And it's definitely very lightweight, so you can get some serious Johnny Bravo quiff action going on if you want to. And we do, of course, have that massive amount of clay texture. All right, so now moving over into the kind of performance and endurance testing of this, definitely does have a strong hold. I mean, you can see this is at the end of the day, and basically my hair hasn't moved. You can just kind of put it in place and leave it there and it ain't going nowhere. Double negatives. But at the same time, it does maintain that malleability that they talked about, so it is easy to restyle should you want or need to. As I mentioned before, it's very lightweight, so the volume stays in there, and even if it does drop out a little bit, a quick finger comb and just kind of floof it back into place, if you will, yields some pretty great results. And I do notice that as the day goes on, the initial kind of like dryness and tackiness of it, that as a person with a coarse wavy hair type does give me that kind of tangly ends feeling, that dissipates throughout the day. It kind of wears off, and I think, I'm just theorizing, but I think that might be a result of having those, like the castor oil and grapeseed oil and stuff in there. So the longer it's in your hair, it does kind of soften and just leave your hair feeling nice and flowy, and that dryness goes away a bit. And I will say, with that strong hold, this is like one of the few products that I've been using recently that can actually control this cowlick section of my hair back here that likes to pop out the opposite way against my will. So with this, as long as I've got enough product in, I can literally just go and force it over that way, and it will, did you like that sound effect? Force it over that way and it'll stay there. And as far as the washout on this, as I mentioned, it is water-based, so it does wash out pretty easily. I find that it comes out almost entirely with just water for me, and if you do have any little bit of product buildup left in there, a quick, light cleanser or shampoo will take it right out with no problems. All right, guys, so overall thoughts on the Sun City Grooming Company matte clay. I love it, man. I mean, this is like what I love about homebrew clays, just in one package. So we've got everything that, they said it's going to do. It basically, it really delivered on everything. It does have a strong hold. It does have a matte finish, but it's not too matte. It's got a ton of texture to it. It does stay malleable. So, as I mentioned, the minor cons for me are that because of my hair type and because of the dryness and tackiness of it, it does get a little bit uncomfortable. There is definitely some tug and pull at application, but that does wear off throughout the day. So it's, something that I'm willing to deal with because the performance of the product is so good. And I mean, I've got it in my hair right now, and I think it looks great. And, it just, like I said, it helps to kind of maintain the natural shine in my hair, but it doesn't add any, it doesn't take any away. Very lightweight, easy to wash out. It's just, it's a great clay, and it's a great price too. I mean, 18 bucks for 4 ounces. I mean, you really can't beat that. And that's another nice thing about homebrews. So yeah, definitely worth a try if you are in the market for a new, you know, stronghold matte finish homebrew clay. Definitely check these guys out. Absolutely worth a shot. So that wraps things up for today's review, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Please do stay tuned. I've got so many more products to review. I just got a bunch of new stuff in from Hair Bond. Remember those guys? Very, very popular in Europe. They sent me a bunch of new stuff. Yeah, and I have so many products to get to. So if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button down below to keep up to date with all that. And as always, thank you guys so much for coming by and watching. We'll see you at the next one.